wanted to ask you, though, about Liverpool. You're linked with a hijack move for Anthony. That's come up about 4 or 5 times in the press. I don't quite get it. Maybe, again, Salah's just signed a new deal. They play on the same side of the pitch. It doesn't really make sense to me as a potential deal for Liverpool. But how much more do you need to be able to win the league? And I know you've got a lot of stick for this from a lot of Liverpool fans that don't like you challenging FSG or the way you've gone about it, as an example, maybe. But obviously, you've signed one player. I know you've signed 2 kids, but you've signed one established player, and he's quite young and raw in himself. How much more do you think you need to be able to win the league? Or do you think you'll be able to win it without any more signings? Where are you at with things?
I can sit here and I can guarantee, bar a City catastrophe in terms of injuries, God forbid, I don't want that to happen to them. I'm just giving a hypothetical. Or something crazy that happens. Liverpool are not winning this Premier League title without a midfielder. It's as simple as that. We can sit here and we can, do as much Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones, James Milner, Jordan Henderson, Naby Keita prop as you want to do. At the end of the day, we're not winning this league title without a midfielder signing. It's as simple as that. You can't not address your biggest weakness and expect different results. It's like you're sat at home watching Home Alone for the 1000th time, but expecting a different outcome. Like, no, the bad guys are not going to get, Kevin McAllister this time. He still is going to get the bad guys because we already watched this movie. So I don't need another season of Curtis Jones just being the same exact player who can't do anything on the football pitch for me to be convinced. I don't need another season of James Milner yellow card bingo. I don't need another season of Jordan Henderson back post crosses. I don't need another season of Naby Keita's unreliability and inconsistency. I don't need another season of Oxlade-Chamberlain Klopp talking about his dynamism and then him not playing him for 4 months. And I don't need another season of Thiago's injuries to know that he's going to get injured. I already have seen this movie before. I would happily send Nunes back to Benfica to have a midfielder. That's how much I think it is a priority. It's such a priority for us to sign a midfielder. The club itself and people who speak for the club and we've spoken about this before, the Positivity Olympics section of my fan base that just want to go on YouTube and be positive all the time. When it comes to Liverpool Football Club, they themselves know that we need a midfielder. That's why we were linked to Chouameni. If someone can answer the question, why did we want Chouameni if we truly believe we don't need a midfielder? That's the number question. Number 2 question. On the Anthony thing, just quickly, because I think I don't really think that's going to happen. I think even if we do get him, great, I'll clap and stuff. It still we haven't addressed like our biggest weakness. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I don't think Anthony's going to happen. I don't think we need it to happen either. I think I look at that midfield and I just think I've seen this movie before 100 times already. I don't need to see this movie again for me to expect a different outcome. The outcome is going to be the same. City are going to three-peat. The only time the only way we can win this league title is if we go sign a midfielder. Jude Bellingham is not the be-all and end-all, and this is sort of the sheepish mentality that sort of section of our fan base have. All it took was one Paul Joyce article, and Jude Bellingham turned from Jude Bellingham to Zinedine Zidane in the space of 24 hours. Suddenly, everyone became a Bundesliga expert. Suddenly, Jude Bellingham is Zinedine Zidane. Suddenly, Jude Bellingham is the only answer, as if Thiago Alcantara and Henderson are the 2 best 8s in the world, and the only guy who's an improvement on them is Jude Bellingham. So, me personally, I happily concede this league title if we don't sign a midfielder. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to sit here and lie to the people. I'm not going to lie as a content creator. I just say it as it is. For me personally, without us signing an 8, we're not winning the league. It's as simple as that. That's just how I see it. If we do sign an 8, then this whole conversation shifts. It switches. So that's how bad I think we need a signing. And it's different getting to the hill versus getting over the hump. For us to get over the hump, we need that midfielder. Every single game we've dropped points in the season, it's been lack of control in midfield, losing control in midfield, losing the midfield battle. It's been the same thing every single time. It's not like there hasn't been a shock result where it's hit Van Dijk in the knee and it rebounded off Alisson's armpit and we conceded a goal. It's always been the same stuff. Midfield. So for me personally, if we don't sign a midfielder, we don't win the league. It's as simple as that. So yeah,
it's interesting. I agree with you completely, and I know that a lot of Liverpool fans will think I'm just saying that to sort of rub salt into the wound, as it were. But City have improved so much. And again, we are talking on paper. And as you say, City could shock us all this season and be awful. It not work. Haaland be injured. Calvin Phillips gets exposed and they have a terrible season. Liverpool win the league. And Liverpool fans will say, see, I told you. But I think you have to plan for City being the best version of themselves. That's how you plan. Otherwise, ironically, you winning the league becomes what a lot of things what's been banned about a lot in recent years. It becomes a false position because you're only there because City have been bad. You need to be able to beat City man for man.
Terry, you know why Tom Little? Tom Little's the guy who comes on the Terrace. You know his reason to why we can win the league is because City got more starters in the World Cup, so they're gonna get tired and come back and lose the league. See the logic I'm dealing with? Like, that's the logic I'm dealing with. Their logic is Liverpool are going to have the best case scenario, and City, like, Haaland is going to RKO Pep through the table. Alvarez is going to 2-foot Laporte in training. They're just like, it's all like mad hypotheticals. You don't plan to fail. You fail to plan. Going into another season without a midfielder is us planning to failing to plan. Sorry. So it's as simple as that. We're just going once again. It's like every single time. It's just we fuck up one thing, like every single time, every single summer. Oh, why is a backup right back so important to Sam? You don't trust Milner up until Milner plays backup right back at home to City. Oh, why is number 8 important to Sam? Do you not trust these players up until Curtis plays against Man City, Curtis plays against Brighton, Ox plays against Leicester, etc., etc. And you see the same stuff. Just take pen and paper. Write down with me if you're a Liverpool fan. Write it down on a paper. Thiago will not be fit all season. Write it down 10 times and read it to yourself. Wake up. Thiago will not be fit all season. Just keep saying it to yourself. Because Thiago Alcantara's had a massive injury history since his Barcelona days. This has been Thiago Alcantara. So it's going to happen again. He's going to get injured again. So for me, I want to be proven wrong, because me being proven wrong is us winning the league title, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I've seen, and I've already pre-season 2 games of Curtis Jones. The same exact shit I've seen for the last 2-3 years. The same player. Shit decision making. Dribbles a little bit good. Passes a little bit good. Shoots a little bit good. Nothing special. It's just that's the issue, Terry. It's just like that one missing piece you need that's going to get you over the hump. And we decide, no, let's not go get that missing piece. Let's once again try to risk it all. So it's just not going to happen, man. City are winning the league without us signing.
I get where you're coming from, mate. And I think that I understand being positive about your club and everything else. I do understand it, because I'm asking Man United that you only buy the players that are primary targets that definitely improve you to a certain degree. And again, if Liverpool wait because they know 100% next year they're getting Jude Bellingham, and they have to wait money-wise, then I do kind of get it. At the same time, though, you're essentially conceding this league. And I think that the funniest thing I hear from Liverpool fans is, well, you all said last year that we didn't have enough to finish in the top 4. No, we didn't. And I'm talking about the Terrace. It's like we were talking about hypotheticals where if Liverpool had 2 or 3 bad injuries, could they fall out the top 4? Everybody predicted Liverpool to be in the top 4. Most predicted them to be in a title race. The irony in it was, what got you back into the title race was the January signing of Luis Diaz. Where you sort of, again, I know this is. I looked at it like, if you'd have had him from the beginning of the season, you'd have won the league.
Different outcome. Agreed.
Again, everything's hypothetical, but that's the whole point of being a football fan, talking football. If we got rid of all hypotheticals in football, all the if, buts, and maybes, there'd be nothing to talk about. Like, there'd be nothing. So you have to.
If we didn't sign Luis Diaz, the whole thing that happened wouldn't have happened. Genuinely speaking, not one of the things that happened. We wouldn't. I'm not even lying. If we didn't sign Luis Diaz, the whole run we made from January till May wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't have been possible. That's how much one signing elevates the people around them. Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, I remember, and I think it was one other Man United player. They sat down and they were speaking about this once. I think it was like on one of the interviews or something like that. And they came out and they said, sometimes when you get one class player, as soon as you see him in training, it just elevates everyone around him. If Nicolo Barella walked in to Liverpool tomorrow, suddenly everyone's more confident. The fans are more confident. The coach is more confident. The team's more confident. His own teammates are more confident. So it's just like this whole thing, the whole theory, the ideology that one player doesn't make a difference is massive cap. Just look at Liverpool themselves. Exactly what Terry just said. Diaz signed in January, and we went on that mad run. Where if we didn't sign him, that run wouldn't have happened. It's as simple as that.
Man United, 1999, we already had a very good squad. We signed some very good players. And yeah, that was, I want to say, and I'm going to go check this now. I was obviously very young, but that was the summer where we signed Yap Stam as an example. I believe that was the year. I want to go and double check. He's 50 now. My God, I feel so old. Yes, that was the summer that we signed Yap Stam. And I'm actually going to go back to that summer because there's a reason that I want to bring that up. And Man United had a good summer so far. You know, Yap Stam had come in. We already had a very good team. Wasn't like we were rebuilding in any kind of way. We were just needing to add new players to the team. I want to scroll back to that summer because I know we signed somebody else. I want to make sure I get these names right. So that summer we signed Yap Stam and we'd signed Jasper Blomqvist, who was a good squad player for us. But then on practically deadline day, £17 million, which back then was a lot of money, £15 million the Yap Stam cost, we brought in Dwight York. And Dwight York was a catalyst for the treble winning season. I believe if we missed out on Dwight York, we do not win the treble. Not just because of his goals, but the partnership and friendship that he created with Andy Cole as an example. The extra rotation that it gave us. We had everyone used to play 4-4-2 back then. We had 4 top-class to world-class strikers between Teddy Sheringham, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And if we didn't have him, it would have been a kid. It would have been a kid or someone that wasn't quite good enough being rotated in. You would have dropped points and missed out in moments on those games. There was a feeling that he brought to the club. And for the first 3 or 4 years, Dwight York had this amazing energy around the club. He become a little bit of a naughty boy in the latter stages. But in those early years, there was this energy from him, this vibrance from him, this great attitude that he had. Professional on the pitch, worked hard in training and everything. But brought some life to the club, an extra life, and it was a character. And that word character, those soft facts are played down so much. And I think you'll find that Luis Diaz, for one reason or another, did very similar things when he came in January. It was like an injection into the squad. And that's why you're better off getting your signings done in the summer, because you have that impact all year. And I get a feeling that what could happen to Liverpool this year, I still think you are going to be there or thereabouts. You can still win any of the cup competitions, and you're still going to have a very good season. But without that midfielder, without that extra player or two, City's squad is just going to be too deep, too strong, too good. I can't see all their signings failing. 2 of them are, Kukurea will probably go there. 2 of them are Premier League proven, excellent footballers. And Haaland is a game changer. Like, if Haaland scores at the rate people expect, that by itself could make them impossible to catch. And I just think that Liverpool need to do that little bit more to get over the line. But of course, I say it and people are like, well, focus on your own club. Well, I do focus on Man United, but we talk top 6 on here. And I think Liverpool are brilliant. But if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be really unhappy with the lack of additional signings. So I do agree.